Sahn-Uzal Mordekaiser is the latest attempt from Riot Games to get people to spend upwards of $250 trying to buy a League of Legends cosmetic via gambling mechanics. Like all the other Exalted skins, it is therefore trash. It is hot shit from an unwashed ass, because literally any cosmetic in the world would be hot shit from an unwashed ass if it came with a price tag like that. So, F rank, right in the trash, right up front, let's get that out of the way. Setting that aside, how is it then as a purely artistic exercise? Well, it's a mix of good production values and bad creative decisions. For example, his base walk cycle is this big, chunky stomping animation which mirrors the way that he walks in his base form, but in his base form, Mordekaiser is like 5 tons of hardened sentient steel animated by hate and hubris, so the big chunky stomp makes sense for that character. In his human form, instead, he just kind of looks like a 5-year-old pretending to walk like a T-Rex. There's a really awkward, performative, overcompensating vibe to all of this, especially with how much his upper body is bouncing around with it. It's cartoony, almost. It looks silly rather than powerful and intimidating. It's very much the same deal with his Q animation. In the base form, it's this huge, powerful swing, emphasized with some really extreme model distortions to make the weight of it all land. But here, it's this over-the-top leaping slam, again, looking like a kid trying to copy a move he saw in an anime. All of the huge, momentous gestures that work really well coming from a giant slab of living armor just lose their menace and impact when performed by a human body that's clearly pretending to be bigger than it actually is. If this is visual storytelling trying to communicate that Mordekaiser is kind of insecure and overcompensating and pathetic, then that would be cool, but it's clearly not what the skin is actually going for. It wants this to look cool and badass, and it just doesn't land. His second form, being much more fully armored, handles all of the animations a lot better, but if you want a fully armored Mordekaiser, why would you spend up to $250 for this skin, which is only fully armored half the time, when you could just get base Mordekaiser instead for way fucking cheaper and it looks better? Sahn-Uzal has good production values. The textures are nice, the visual effects are cool, it's nice to have a fun transforming mechanic, but all of the creative decisions about how he moves, how he presents himself, his proportions, his affect, they're all just kinda bad and completely counter to the purpose of the skin. This is a good object lesson in what gacha design principles do to skin design, because this is so desperately chasing that big, flashy, cool, badass aesthetic to justify its price tag that it loops right back around to looking ridiculous, overcompensating, and frankly, really just kind of fucking lame.